Welcome to Think About It Reviews, guys, and we are reviewing Unfinished Business, starring Vince Vaughn, Dave Franco, Tom Wilkinson, and Sienna Miller. Now, basically what this film is about is Vince Vaughn used to work at this one company. He left the company. He made his own type company with two other guys, Tom Wilkinson and Dave Franco. The one guy I do remember, his name is Mike Pancake, because who doesn't love breakfast? And that's a hilarious name, sort of. And also, you know, they think they got this one deal done with this big company, other company, a lot of companies here, or a lot of, you know, firms or whatever. They think they got this deal done, but they don't. They don't have it in a bag. They fly to, they believe it was like Berlin or something like that. They fly to meet this person to get, you know, draw up the paperwork, do the handshake, money in the bag. But that's not the case. They said that, hey, this other person is coming in, and of course it's Vince Vaughn's old boss, Sienna Miller, who pretty much thwarts their plans, basically, and this company is trying to take over that company, and that company is pretty much screwed and trying to win back the company they thought they were in the business with that company. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. Well, anyway, let's just get right down to basically if this is funny or not. Honestly, I had low expectations of this film. I thought the trailer was humorous a little bit here and there. Watching the film, it was only an hour and a half, but it felt like a 2.5 hour movie. Well, I don't want to go that far. It definitely felt like a 2-hour movie. It just, I mean, some of the jokes worked, but then like in the very beginning, the first act, it didn't really work for me. It wasn't funny. It was Vince Vaughn doing Vince Vaughn stuff, you know, talking fast, saying, you know, what's real, like saying stuff that's what's there, like pretty much making fun of the person who's in front of him or not making fun. Like he just has that way of him, that comedy way where he talks fast and basically, you know, tries to be like kind of a little bit goofy with his dialogue. But he wasn't, you know, he was my least favorite person in the film, honestly. I didn't get a lot of laughs from him. I think I didn't even laugh when he got shot. I was supposed to laugh when he got shot, but I did not. Maybe the only laugh was has to do with basically a spa scene where he has to close this other deal off, this side plot type deal going on. That was kind of a funny scene. But really, the laughs came from Dave Franco and Tom Wilkinson. Now, Tom Wilkinson's a 67-year-old. Does not look 67. Did he say 87? Because I think he said 67. 67. Well, anyway, he got some chuckles. I thought Tom Wilkinson would be a little bit more funnier. I think Dave Franco was the funniest out of his character. Was the funniest out of this film. He's kind of special. He doesn't understand big words. Honestly, he's like, you know, he's trying to understand everything that's going on around him. But he's good. He actually is a good worker in this film. But overall, you know, he just. Dave Franco actually did a good job. I think he did a great job. Well, not a great job. I thought he did a solid, good job for what he had. He was the funniest thing in the movie. I mean, a lot of shenanigans he was getting into with Tom Wilkinson was really great. I mean, especially when they were hitting the party scene, where they're hitting the spa scene. When these two were like the dynamic duo. I liked when these two were together. As for Vince Vaughn, when all three of them were together, sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. There's a storyline basically that deals with Vince Vaughn and his kids and his family life that I didn't give a shit about. I really did not care, honestly. But I will give the movie credit for, you know, saying something that's really, you know, you could take to heart from even in this type of film. Was they deal with the bully issue, and they say in this film that, listen, just because you're bullied at school doesn't mean it stops. Once you get home, it continues with media, you know, social media, Twitter, Facebook, this and that. And that's a great point. I mean, kids get bullied, and you think it's over. You think that's the only time they get bullied, but they go back home, they go on their Facebook and whatnot, and they get bullied there as well. So that was a great issue that they brought up, even though I didn't really care about Vince Vaughn and his family life. I just did not care. And the wife really, you know, I guess she couldn't really talk to her kids because she needed to rely on Vince Vaughn a hell of a lot. So, you know, there was that thing going on. And, you know, I thought the guy from Shaun of the Dead, I always forget his name, Nick Frost. I thought Nick Frost was going to be kind of I thought the movie was going to go a different way. I thought they were going to have to woo Nick Frost in order to woo this other guy, which is Cyclops. You know, we know him as Cyclops. But it didn't go that way. Nick Frost was hardly ever in it. When he was in it, it was kind of funny when they had to fly to a lot of places to meet this one guy, and a lot of things, the schedule gets changed. So there's a lot of things that they're doing on their downtime, but overall, I think that was wrong with it was the pacing. The pacing wasn't that great. The music, I just felt like the music didn't fit this movie at all. It really felt like it just didn't feel it. It didn't set the tone for this film. The music was out of place, in my opinion. Direction wise, it was okay. Sometimes the editing was very clunky. There was like scenes where Dave Franco was looking down, and then it goes straight from him looking down to already talking to Vince Vaughn. I thought the editing was very shoddy. This thing could have been edited down as well, but it's only an hour and a half. But I think the pacing issue and a lot of those, the script wasn't that great. A lot of the jokes and a lot of things they get through. I mean, there's one scene that deals with the car and them trying to dodge a freaking, a deer or whatever. That was stupid. I don't know why that was in there, really. Excuse me. That whole bit was not that great. I really just started picking up through the second act and on, where it started to get a little bit more funnier. You started, especially with Dave and Tom Wilkinson and, Vince Vaughn hitting all these spots, or basically Dave and Wilkinson, reacting to all the situations that are surrounding them. But I don't hate the film. It's not a good film. It's a pretty bad film, but it's a film that definitely is a Netflix watch. Vince Vaughn, I mean, I heard this is already bombing at the box office, but I'm sure some people are going to want to watch this, and you do get a few laughs here and there. And this story is though you've seen before, even though I expected it to go one way, it went the other, but I still seen this all before. The jokes were definitely more missed than hit. Certain characters were just left by the wayside. There's no purpose of them actually being in there. And then you have side stories, side plots that just really were just boring and uninteresting, and you just didn't really care. Like I said, the one shining moment of this film was addressing that bully issue. I thought that was great, addressing that saying about bullies and stuff. But it went a little bit too. We wanted to laugh, and it just felt like it just kind of it teeter-tottered. You know what I mean? But we gotta like Vince Vaughn somehow, right? So. Thank you guys for listening. I don't recommend you watch this film. I recommend you wait for it on Netflix, but it's just my thoughts on it. That's why it's called Think About It Reviews, because you're going to go watch this film no matter what I say, and that's fine. Just comment below and let me know what you think, what you thought about this film if you saw it. Like I said, it wasn't a horrible film. Paul Blart looks like a horrible film, or Paul Blart 2. But it was not. It definitely was a mediocre, definitely a Netflix type watch film. Now, if you don't want to see this, I do recommend The Wedding Ringer that's going to be coming out. That is definitely. I recommend you rent that or watch that on Stream It. It's coming out pretty soon. I think that movie. My expectations were very low in that movie, but it actually ended up being a lot funnier than I thought it'd be. It was a good time with friends, so I encourage you to watch that film with friends. So my recommendation would be The Wedding Ring when it hits DVD or whatnot. But this film, I would wait till it hits DVD or Netflix. So thank you guys for listening. And once again, like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat. I actually had some popcorn to eat. Great popcorn to eat. Yeah. See you at the cinema. See you guys.